It says I'm live. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for November 3rd. November 3rd is the 307th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 308th in leap years, with 58 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is figurative. Yesterday I mentioned that the word literally is sometimes overused or even misused. Often I've heard people use the word literal or literally when evaluating the full context of their statement. What they really meant was figurative or figuratively. That in mind, figurative is an adjective that means representing by a figure or resemblance of or relating to representation of form or figure in art, representing one thing in terms, normally denoting another, in which it may be regarded as analogous or characterized by figures of speech. That kind of sounds like a lot of word salad to me. How about you? I think the key phrase there is figures of speech. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. Ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video around. You can do that with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. Let's see what else. Oh, yes, the link to my Day in History playlist. There's a link in the show notes, and I'll be sure to put one up in the corner also once the video has rendered. All righty, with that, not all. It marked the beginning of the English Reformation, for one thing. And with the formation of the Anglican Church and Henry in charge, boy, howdy if that isn't the fox in charge of the hen house. Henry in charge of the church now, well, he could grant himself permission to divorce Catherine of Aragon. Later on, they also passed a Treasons Act, wherein anyone who disavowed the act of supremacy was guilty of treason. I could go on, but we do have other topics to speak about, so we'll move on here. The American Continental Army disbanded on November 3rd, 1783. Napoleon's army was defeated at the Battle of Vyazma on November 3rd, 1812. Canada's oldest chartered bank, the Bank of Montreal, opened in Montreal on November 3rd, 1817. On November 3rd, 1848, a greatly revised Dutch constitution was proclaimed. This constitution transferred much authority from the king to his parliament and ministers. Panama separated from Colombia on November 3rd, 1903. And William Howard Taft was elected 27th President of the United States on November 3rd, 1908. Chevrolet officially entered the automobile market in competition with the Model T on November 3rd, 1911. Franklin D. Roosevelt was reelected President of the United States on November 3rd, 1936. November 3rd, 1946, the Constitution of Japan was adopted with the Emperor's blessing. The Soviet Union launched Sputnik 2 on November 3rd, 1957. The astronaut of the day was a dog named Laika, the first animal to enter orbit. Let's see here. Oh, Lyndon Baines Johnson was elected to a full term as U.S. President on November 3rd, 1964. And Bill Clinton was elected President of the United States on November 3rd, 1992. I remember standing in line to vote that day. My goodness, there were a lot of people out voting then. Now, we're missing birthdays today because I misplaced my research, and here it was time to do the show, and yikes, it takes a while to pull it all together. So I got a few historical notes for this day in history, but not any birthdays. So my apologies for that. So that said, that's going to be it for today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. That is to keep better track of my research, for one thing. Anyway, as always, my notes, links to my research, and the playlist for this series is in the show notes. I'll put a link to the playlist up in the corner also. And I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching. Come back tomorrow. We'll do it again. We had a lot of presidential election notes for this day in history. And before this day is over, this day will be added to that list because it's voting day in the United States, Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. So I have no idea how it's going to come out, but it will be interesting, that's for sure. All righty, now I'm going to look for that thank you very much button and click. It says end stream, but I like to call it the thank you very much button because thank you very much. And then it's going to ask me if I'm sure, and I'm going to say yes.